Dufeu is a UK-based MSP, so a managed services provider, and we work across the UK, businesses large, looking after businesses large and small, helping to support their infrastructure and, in particular, increase their cyber resilience. We are one of few National Cybersecurity Centre assured service providers for cyber essentials across the UK. We're ISO 9001, 27001, and of course, we're both Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus accredited ourselves. We've got a strong emphasis, and I always have since I started the business, on best practice and standards, hence the 27001, the Cyber Essentials Plus, etc. So we really do promote that and look to help our customers and other UK businesses establish that baseline, which the government and the National Cybersecurity Centre promote as being Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus. We are here to help you. We're here to answer any questions if you need to. I myself, I'm an NCSC cyber advisor. Paul and Ange will go through a bit more about what that means in some of the slides coming up. So I'll hand you over to them now and stop waffling. Over to you.
Super. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Anjali. I'm the Business Engagement Manager at IASME. Thank you very much for inviting us to talk to you today about how to secure your business with Cyber Essentials. I'll let Paul introduce himself in a moment. We've been speaking to a number of organizations, SMEs, FTSE 350s, about the best ways to give themselves that kind of resilience and have some cybersecurity in place. Paul, over to you to say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Crumpton. I'm Deputy Head of Business Development. And yes, it's exactly as Ange has just described. And the only thing I'll add to that is in this space and in this conversation, size or service or product doesn't matter. It's how secure your network is. So no one's too small or too large to be subject to a cyber attack. And that's the basis on which Cyber Essentials was brought into place. It's 12 years old today. This is not a new scheme. It's getting an increasing a drive by the government to ensure a baseline standard across the UK. That baseline standard being called Cyber Essentials. So that's why we're here to talk to you today.
Excellent. Sorry, my screen didn't appear there. It went somewhere else. So apologies for that. We should be all good now. Thank you, Paul. Cyber Essentials. It's all about getting the basics right. So in an era where technology is the backbone of most business processes, UK organizations, including the smallest of enterprises, are reaping the benefits of digital advancement. But technology evolution brings with it a surge of cyber threats, and something like 7.7 million cyber crimes are estimated on UK businesses in the last year alone. That's something like 50% of all businesses have reported some sort of a cyber breach in the last 12 months. For many SMEs, cyber attacks may seem like a distant concern, and it's easy to wrongly assume that your small business will keep you off the radar for online crime. Cybercrime and cyber criminals can find your business anywhere, no matter what the size of or the location of your business. Cyber attacks are no longer a question of if, really, but when. Most cyber attacks are untargeted. They're often random, multiple, they're automated, and quite opportunistic. So many of those cyber criminals will be using freely available tools from the internet, and these are all known as basically commodity-based attacks. The good news is that most cyber attacks are basic in nature, the digital equivalent of a thief trying to get in from your front door or an open window. So it's really about getting those basic things right, locking doors, shutting windows, and keeping your data safe. The National Cybersecurity Centre which is part of GCHQ, regularly monitor threats to UK businesses. And Cyber Essentials is part of one of the schemes that they promote. Last year, saw many household names impacted by cyber incidents across all sectors of the economy, from retail to manufacturing, transport. And those are just the incidents that have made the headlines and been reported in the news. So the NCSE recommends using Cyber Essentials as the government's minimum standard for cybersecurity that all organizations should seek to obtain. Cyber Essentials focuses on a set of controls that are simple to implement and will significantly reduce the risk of one of those commodity-based attacks being successful. There are over 500,000 small and medium-sized organizations with less than 250 employees, and that makes up the vast majority of the UK. That's like 99% of businesses. So these are the SMEs that don't necessarily see their data as a target for cyber attacks, but they are still at risk of being attacked. So it is very much about your vulnerabilities rather than your assets. So Cyber Essentials Plus is very much about getting those things right. So NCSE and GCHQ are keen to give you some options to be as protected as possible. IASME is the sole delivery partner for the NCSE. We're tasked with delivering Cyber Essentials and a number of other schemes to protect UK businesses. It's the simplest, easiest, most affordable and efficient way to give you a level of protection. CE is over 10 years old. It's not something that's new. It's not going away. It's going to become more and more important as a primary cost of doing business within the UK. So having that level of protection is important. Cyber Essentials is a self-assessment. In the first instance, you answer a set of questions, you would pay your fee, and an external assessor would be able to mark your answers. So this is where Dufeu would come in, and Greg and Julianne can help you with that. Cyber Essentials Plus is an externally audited by assessors, and there'll be a number of checks that they would do across laptops and systems and networks to make sure you're doing exactly what it is you're saying you're doing within your CE certificate. Costs can vary for a CE certificate between 320 and £600, depending on the size of your organization. We know that Cyber Essentials can help you win new contracts and new work. And more organizations are asking for it. Anything government related, it is becoming something that is mandated. So there are some other certificates there, but really around cyber security, DCC, Defense Cybersecurity, MOD, it is very much something that's mandated. It is also a badge of honor, as it were, for just good cyber hygiene. So it's important to have it, just to demonstrate to your customers and that you have a strong cyber hygiene and do take that seriously. So a couple of things to make you aware of. Cyber Governance Code of Practice. This is quite a recent thing. It came out in autumn last year as a piece of guidance from the NCSE, National Cybersecurity Centre, and DSIT, Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, for all board members. So a letter went out in October from several government ministers, the heads of the NCSE and the National Crime Agency, to all of the CEOs and the chairs of leading UK companies. Within that, they made 3 specific requests, which I'll go through in a moment, that would have an immediate positive impact on the resilience to cyber attacks. So the three things were really making cyber risk a board level priority, signing up for early warnings, and they've asked organizations to get CE. So those three things will really make a difference. The Cyber Governance Code of Practice outlines the roles and responsibilities that all boards should take to understand the risk within your organization. If you're connected to the internet, cybersecurity is a strategic decision. It's not an IT issue. It is very much a board level issue, just as your response to a hack or a breach is a business level priority. You'd need to understand the risks and vulnerabilities as a business. So it offers a free package of support, some free training, some options to strengthen your oversight into that attack. But not all cyber attacks can be prevented. So you do need to have a plan as to how you might respond to a major incident. So part of it is to make a plan, exercise the plan, get your team to understand the plan, and actually, where do you keep the plan? Don't keep it on your system. Have a hard copy of it somewhere, because if your systems go down, then you're somewhat scuppered. That's all freely available. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today is about free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff that you can do to get you ready on that cyber security journey? First thing you can do is sign up for the early warning. This is takes about 5 minutes. You go to the NCSC website and you can register your URL to receive notifications on those cyber attacks that might be specifically pertinent to you. What is Cyber Essentials? So I really wanted to talk a little bit about how Cyber Essentials protects your business from the most common types of cyber attacks, but how you do that. How do we know that it works? One way is through those insurance statistics. If you can see the first one, 92% less likely to make a claim on their cyber insurance than those without Cyber Essentials. So as part of your CE certification, you could qualify for cyber liability insurance as part of it. It gives you a certain amount of cover, but also that 24/7 incident response. So if something does happen, anything technical or legal support, it will hold your hand in those early hours to kind of limit as much damage as possible and support you with the reporting process. All you would need to do to qualify for that is be a UK-based company with below £20 million turnover and have included the whole organisation within your scope on your CE certificate, and you will qualify for that cyber liability insurance. So based on that, we know that if you have CE in place, you're 92% likely to have to claim on your cyber insurance. Now, our certificates are going up, so that number will come down. So it will change very soon. We're currently, CE certificates are increasing by about 20% month on month each year. So we're doing about over 5,000 certificates a month now, just on the basic CE alone. So as those numbers go up, that's 92% statistic will go down. We expect it to do that, hopefully by not too much. Okay, Paul, I'll let you have a word at this point if you want to talk about the readiness tool, which is a great way to get started.
Yeah, thanks, Ange. Just briefly, you're in good hands with organisations like Dufeu, particularly with a cyber advisor. You're able to get advice pertinent to you in your business. It's not easy to become a cyber advisor. It shouldn't be. You need a technical background, but you also need where to talk to small and medium businesses, and that's the point. And of the 5.5 million SMEs that are out there, not all will have the capability to input the elements of cyber essentials themselves, and why would you? But for those that do, there are a lot of free resources Andrew's touched on. Here's one of them. It's a gap analysis. We call it a cyber essentials readiness tool. You can answer some questions. There's no subscription, anything like that. You just run through it, absolutely free. You just run through it, and at the end it produces a report that if you understand, great. If you don't understand, you can hand it to somebody like Greg and his team to talk you through what that would look like. And if you were an SME and looking to get cyber essentials, Greg would give you, as a cyber advisor, the first 30 minutes of his time for free to have a conversation about that. He'd ask you some questions. So the cyber essentials readiness tool is there for you to use as a gap analysis and give you tailored guidance to your particular business. So as I mentioned, cyber advisors there, yeah, I've covered that. They will ask you some questions, and they will give you a plan ultimately on how to achieve C+. If you can't achieve it, they will tell you why, and they will give you some actions on how that should be done. And I just want to cover that point. Cyber Essentials has been in place for 12 years. The price has changed with it. Just talking about money for a second, the price has changed only once in the last 12 years. It went up by 20 quid about 3 or 4 years ago. And that price varies depending on the size of your business, between 320 and 600 pound. That's for the certificate. Just want to make that point clear. Any consultancy outside of particularly in relation to a cyber advisor, in relation to first 30 minutes, is at cost, and that's a negotiation between, in this case, for example, Dufeu and yourselves. But the cyber advisors, there's only about 138, 140 of them across the UK. It's very difficult to become one, rightly so, because they don't just have to have the technical skills, they have to be related specifically back to a business of your size, a small and medium enterprise. So I strongly recommend, if you choose to go down the consultancy route, you seek out those that are qualified via the National Cybersecurity Centre. So the elements of Cyber Essentials, very briefly, are just 5. You can see them on the screen there. I won't just read out all the words entirely on there, but simply put, you're looking at firewalls, and there's an explanation there. There's an explanation on our website in the knowledge hub about what a firewall is and does. If your system currently asks you to update it, please do. That's security update management, as you see on there. One of the biggest reasons for non-compliance with firms is that they do not update within 14 days of a security update coming out. There's stuff on there around user access, passwords, and malware protection, as you can see. But probably the single biggest thing you can do yourself straight away is just know what assets you've got, what things connect to the internet in your business, and are they in receipt of security updates from the vendor. So I'll put that into business language. If you're running a Windows 10 system today and you didn't purchase extended support, Windows 10 is no longer supported by Microsoft, and therefore any Windows 10 device would not be compliant with the Cyber Essentials scheme. There's some in a lot of cases, it will be a simple case of downloading a Windows 11 software, for example. But again, rather than me go into details, that's a conversation you can have with Greg or his team at another time. It doesn't always have to cost, is I think the message I want to put across today. If you don't need a certificate for Cyber Essentials, that's okay too. But implement one or all of these elements, preferably all of them, by yourself, and you'll be a whole lot safer than you were this morning.
Super. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, so Paul and I have spent quite a lot of time recently talking to organizations about how they implement Cyber Essentials within their supply chain. So breaches may not come necessarily from within your organization. You may have protections in place, but Are there certain businesses that you rely on that are part of your supply chain? Not just the ones that have access to your network, but really, if another organization was to suffer a breach, how would that impact you? So, based on some of the things that you've seen in the press last year, we are speaking to a number of the FTSE 350 companies about how they implement cyber essentials into their supply chain, and potentially what level of support they can offer some of those SMEs. So there may be something that's coming down the road there. There's a lot more conversations at government level about that potential support for SMEs from those bigger companies. It's less than 15% of UK businesses that really understand the risk posed by their supply chain. So DCIT and the NCSE have devised a playbook of various options, the organization. So a number of free resources and comms that are available for you to get that message across. But just to say that this is something that more and more organizations are looking to mandate and definitely to encourage. So you will potentially be asked for it more and more as time goes on. So definitely one to look out for. So really, it's there's a number of things that we can do, as we've talked about. The Cyber Essentials readiness tool will allow you to do that gap analysis, so you can see where you are and what you need to focus on. You can engage a cyber advisor, so Greg's on hand for that. These are free and easy things that you can do straight away. You've got the certification body that will then mark your answers on a basic CE certificate. You can complete that self-assessment and it'll be verified. So if you wanted to do a CE plus, then they would then audit those answers. But the readiness tool is available for free. The question sets you can download ahead of time from our website as well. So you know exactly what you're going to be asked. But I think the key thing for us is to urge you to not wait around for something to happen, to try and put some of those controls in place and really start thinking about how it fits into your business sooner rather than later. So the time to act really is now. And a lot of those NCSE messages from government is we need to be thinking about this much more strongly than ever before.